having a wonderful day. And I won't fuck with my wife, 'cause it's the first of the month. And I'll be smoking, joking, rolling, bustin', sipping on 40 ounces again. Gum, we got the bustin' rum. All night we high, get up to back to where? 99. I give with my nigga to give me some yo. Double up, nigga, what you need? We got weed to get D.O.D. Feet for the green league. Double up for the first to show, but it lay low. Cause the pump creep when it rolls so break if you can't get away, but it don't stay, yo. Keep your bankroll. We're having a celebration. Let us stay high. You can never believe when it's time to grind. I'm down for mine. Crime after crime. Finna creep to the back, cause mom's got a grab on the grill. If we got the food, you know it's the first of the month, and my nigga, we chills for real. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Pick up, and I seen that my sister was already dressed. She said, I'm really go get in my stance. Watch I make sure no one snatches my chick. Nigga, that's the real man. Sold in the mail and put it up in the mid pocket. So let me hit it and land it down. To give me a duck about 10 dollars. But ain't no bucket ride that read up. Hop on the 10 to the click. Ready to get him up with him at bills. And to catch that gun, man, I gotta get there. Player, holler, say clear, got much to offer. Well, I bet we don't 93. I'll open the clock for some dollars. So get a bag and dope in a quarter roll. Oh, most all of my niggas got the same. And we gonna roll it all up the smoke. And then reefer hydro. We know the cut, so fuck them popo. Toss of the giggle then roll with a grown and same old. Running through the alley, get in the alley. How about the second the sundown? No front from January on 9 of December. I'm loving the first of the month.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Gotta grind, gotta get mine. In the hood that I claim and I slang on the double nine. Gotta find them dubs. Wanna get fully, can a thug get love? What's up? Try to sing on my corner, nigga. Use a corner. St. Clair niggas don't like that. And selling them dummies, making that money. Come back, nigga, get that pap. From the 1st to the 15th, niggas smoke plenty weed, but I gotta say, gotta come up. Put my rocks in the club. Wanna get high, nigga, blaze that blood. Time to roll to the bag. Count on my profit and add it to the stash. Gotta watch my backseat for niggas that's trying to rob me. Fool, but never no shows and no losses. Don't make keeping these niggas up off me. See, could have sold a whole block, spend a couple bills, thug, smoke a lot of weed on the fur.
Wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up.
Waking up feeling buzz up early in the morning, stretching, I'm yawning, lightweight bitch, chugga like I take a fifth to the dawn. This night I got geek with my truck, but it dance, so I'm getting me hustle long. Hop on the phone, calling them crazy phone. Wanna know did your OG check come?
She put me down.
I'm home on the bus with big,
Let's get drunk.
and I'm coming with blood after blood of the skull. Nigga T just put me down. Oh God, how I love when it first come around. Now I'm freaking me black and mild, head across town. Cause nigga the first get celebrated. Rushing to the block cause I wanna get faded. Looking on wild cause I'm needing me hair braided. We heavy off into this game. Two to the first, just call me that pro slime. Them nickels and dimes and 20s and 50s. The first be the day for the dope man. Slanging that cocaine food. And I'm working late tonight. And all them things be loving them thugs. Cause I got them rocks for them pipes. Come with the ends. I gotta get paid. On first gotta blaze up my split. Get live with it. Both us poetic hustlers in the graveyard shift on the first.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up.
Hey, it's your nasally nerdy white boy here. I thought, oh, first of the month, let's stream again. Because I rarely stream and it's very thematically fitting. Hello, everyone. As you can see, first off, I've gotten my old layout back, dude. I made this long ago, and I loved it, and my SSD had gotten corrupted, and everything got wiped. And I had lost this little like stream starting soon screen, and I was really really sad about that. I had Yaghrip, I forget the Dwemer from Morrowind, in a top hat. I had like a little loop that I had found as a thing, you know. But luckily, I found a single post referencing this image in a Discord. I was so happy I found it because I did I put a lot of effort into this? No, but it was really fun to make, and I'm glad I have it. Today we're going to be discussing tier lists. Tier lists. Well, we're going to be making a tier list in a way. You know me and my tiers. I love tiering things. I love lists. I really like that. Um, and I thought this would allow me to discuss my opinions on PvP talismans. Um, I kind of looked around, really could not find a lot of videos on it. Most of the tier lists you're gonna see are PvE related. I know what's his name, Yui. He actually kind of inspired me on this because he had his big tier list of PvE talismans. You know, oh, what's good in PvE? And so I thought to myself, well, why don't I kind of take that and do this right here? But with PvP. The only other person I could find was Shunik. I think that's his name. Is it Shunik? Oh gosh, I could be mixing up people. Krite. No, not Shunik. It's Krite. Krite. Is the Elden Ring one. There's Shunik is a TF2 person. Krite made a video a while ago, but I don't know how up to date it technically is. Generally, so we're gonna have to see. No matter what, Furled Fingered Trickmere is S tier. That is true. That is true. Objectively S tier. No, so you can kind of see my list here. I've also had to reorganize this. I went through painstaking efforts to keep things somewhat consistent. When we look through this, just to make it easier, I'm planning on potentially turning this into a video. Um, just to get that information out there. This is for Elden Ring version 1.16. I think. Wait, let me double check that. It has been a minute since. Oh, there goes my phone and chat falling down. Let me triple check. It's 1.16 is our current newest Yes, it is 1.16. Should be 1.16. That is our current newest version. Oh, whoops. There we go. And hey, you can see chat over on this side. Hopefully it doesn't, like, absolutely blend. No, it should be good, I think. Okay, good. So that's just kind of what I thought I would do. Just a little simple thing, not gonna take too long. I have Eldenpedia on WikiGG as my source. Now, for anyone that watches this and cares about wikis, I'm not the biggest fan of Extra Life. I think they have some issues. They, in my opinion, get some information wrong. My bigger issue is that they create abandoned wikis. Like, they just abandon wikis. Wasteland 3 is a great example. Sure, they have the guns there. You can see the weapons, you know, but when you go to it, there's no information about them. Where needs to be filled in. And they do that with a lot of games. They just abandon it, or they don't continue working on it. And I hope... One of the things I hope Extra Life, because I don't want Extra Life to fail. I think that a wiki website like them is extremely useful, but I think that since clearly they aren't putting in the effort, alternatives need to come up, and hopefully that could then incentivize Extra Life to then improve on things. That's basically how I think. So we're just gonna get into this. Let me explain the tiers. Obviously, you have S, A, B, C, D. And then I have a PvE tier for any talismans that are pure, like, that's where they go in PvE. You know, they have such a minimal to non-benefit to the player, to the invader, that they aren't really going to do anything. By the way, oh, sorry, I should clarify. I'll probably put this at the beginning right here. This is for invasions of all levels, primarily. That is the primary focus. Arena, I'm also going to take into account and discuss when topical, but invasions are my strong suit, and it's not just meta level 120, 125 invasions. This is encompassing all levels. I will make sure to bring up, especially at lower levels where things are good. I'll be talking about the sore seals, especially. Those are going to be something that I discuss for lower levels, especially. But as you can also see, besides that, we have miscellaneous. That's going to be covered at the end. Miscellaneous are things like the mirrors, for example. They just have little use or no use as well. No use is going to be another thing. And then outclassed, uh, I might just fill these at the bottom. These are talismans that are outclassed by superior upgrades. I am not taking into consideration where you get these talismans. I'm going to assume that when you're making a PvP build, you're going to find a way to get the best of the best, be it spawning in with cheats, be it legitimately getting there, having a friend drop it, doesn't matter. I'm going to assume you're going to use the best version of whatever to do that. Once again, Eldenpedia is going to be here for me to get exact numbers on things, especially when it comes to Shadow of the Erdtree. Names can skip me on certain things that aren't really PvP relevant. And or I'm just not as used to them. That's basically going to be everything. So without ado, let's get right into it. We're going to start off instantly with a S tier right here, which is Erdtree's Favor. They don't have the most upgraded version, which is this, the Erdtree Favor +2. I think Erdtree's Favor is a talisman that pretty much every build should use. Kind of like the Ring of Favor and Protection from Dark Souls 1 and from Dark Souls 3. 3, it's a more apt example. It's just one of those where, unless you are doing something extremely specific, you're going to want to pretty much always use this. This is just a free bonus to stamina, carry weight, and health. You could argue that the Crimson medallion, if I remember, the Crimson Amber medallion could be more useful potentially to you if you already have a good amount of stamina and you have your armor and stuff already selected. I just think that this is the utility one. It offers more of that. Speaking of which, Crimson Amber medallion. I'm probably going to put this in S tier as well. This is a very good talisman. It offers if I remember, it is a 10% increase. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that can add up. A 10% can add up. That could be up to 100 extra health. And I usually go by breakpoints of 25, 50, 100. That's really how it goes. 25, if you have a little niche thing, I especially think of in Dark Souls 1, the Thorn Gauntlets add a 20 increase to fist weapons. Not that useful, but it can be niche. If you have like an extra slot or it's a specific little thing, that can be nice. 20, 25. 50 are your kind of in-betweens of hundreds of damage. 50 can be good, that can add up. Then 100, that's like a +1 to your not a +1 upgrade-wise, but that's a good extra chunk of damage. And this right here, that 10%, could potentially allow you to survive one extra hit, especially from lighter weapons, or it could save you from a one-shot from a heavier weapon. I think that's why that one also deserves S tier. Now, the other two Crimson Medallions, the Cerulean and the Viridian, Personally, I think that Cerulean deserves probably a good A spot. We can readjust this as we go, but I think that deserves around a good A spot. It can be useful, but niche. When you're a mage, especially in invasions, flask allocation is important. And this is another, if I recall correctly, it's around a 10% as well on this one. Let me make sure. 12.5, so that's even better. That can make a difference. That can mean one extra cast or an extra cast before needing to drink a flask. And if that means that you can swap one of your blue flasks over to a healing flask again, that's even better, because that means more heals. So that's why I think it deserves an A. The Viridian one, honestly, even though it's all right, I'm gonna put it in C. I think that there's better options like the two-headed turtle talismans or either of the turtle talismans. I think that more is okay, but the Erdtree Favors right there, I'd rather instead of using this, I'd rather use Erdtree Favor, which might not give me as much stamina, but will also give me health. So that's why I think it deserves a C. Honestly, I might not a D tier. It's not awful, but really I just don't see the point of it. The two-headed turtle talisman. That goes in, I'm gonna say S. I really think A. S I'm gonna reserve for like the really, really good. Like, oh, these can be build defining, not build defining. These are something that you could fit on almost any build, or any build really, and it would work perfectly. These two you could fit on any build and it would be an increase. The turtle, although it almost makes it, I just think barely. It is a very, very good talisman, though. The two-headed turtle talisman. It is a, oh gosh, what is the percentage increase? I forget how much. Yeah, 22%. 10 stamina per second. Very, very good. And a crazy, crazy upgrade over green turtle, which is, yeah, it's 8 seconds, a 17%. That is still very good. That adds up. You know, that 2 extra adds up over time, especially with stamina regeneration. So it's very good. Whoops. That is not my one. So it's still very good. It just barely makes it, barely avoids being in S tier. Now, here's something that is S tier, and people are going to say, well, why don't you just level endurance? You know, if you want to make a tank, I think that, or someone with heavy armor, Great Jar Arsenal, it's kind of like Havel's Ring, in my opinion, goes right up there for PvP builds. You can just add more. That means more defenses, extremely, extremely good. More defenses are just always better, and this allows for that. So, me personally, I'm not someone that invests in endurance very much on a lot of my builds. I usually use the minimum endurance, or I'm rocking Soar Seal or Erdtree Favor to help boost that a little bit. The only time I really level endurance is when I am making a strength build, usually. This allows you to wear heavier armor for higher poise, uh, for almost any build. It takes up a slot, sure, but that can make the difference. You're sacrificing one slot for a lot of other things. That also means you could pair multiple weapons together. Very, very good. Next, we have the Poise Talisman. I forget what that's called. It's the Bull Goat's Talisman. This one, I think it's all right. Amazing? Not, not really. Is it amazing? No. I think it lands in like a B tier. It's one of those where if you're like making a basic knight, oh, here's some more poise. It can do pretty good. In certain situations, it can, but not always. You know, I, that's just my opinion. I know some people swear by this, but I think that they're thinking of it like the Wolf Ring from 3, or the Wolf Ring from 1, or the Giant's Ring from 2. Although Giant's Ring is not amazing in 2, in my opinion. It has its uses. You can slot it on, but I see it as the equivalent of like the Cat Talisman, which we'll get to later. It's one of those where you would swap it here and there to kind of make it fit. Next up, we're going to go over the defensive talismans. And oh boy, I am very excited to get into these. I think pretty much all of these are bad in PvP and in the arena. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what do you mean? What do you mean they're bad? They're not good. Their defenses, in PvE, their defenses are crazy good. In PvE, PvE, their defenses are crazy good. In PvP, their defenses are not. The Dragon Crest gives a 20 in PvE. That's a 5%. That's nothing. The only time I was able to ever make it worth taking that talisman, even then questionable, was with the Verdigris talisman. Oh gosh, if I can find it. Yeah, the Verdigris Discus, which gives a 15 or a 7.5. Realistically, you're going to be going 7.5 unless you're getting over equip load with a 15, making it 20. Then you're quick stepping everywhere, though. And this is situational. If you're doing an over encumbered PvP build and you get open world, you're just done. You're gonna have to go to fat rolling for this to benefit. We'll talk about that more later. But you could turn this into a 20 when you pair these two. For that reason, where's my tier list? For that reason, this guy gets to go in D. The rest of these guys, unfortunately, get to go in PvE. You know, it's just not good. A 7%, you could theoretically put this on in the arena. The elemental ones, besides the Pearl Drake. Pearl Drake is just not. I don't think so. But these other, well, maybe here. Lowers non-physical damage by 11%. Oh, that's PvE though. PvP, it's probably way lower. I could see these potentially being all right in the arena, but I really think that these are PvE fodder. You know, I think that's what these are, and that's what they deserve. Now, normally you'd be like, oh, well, why do I have the smaller sword seal, or scar seals? Shouldn't they be an outclassed? These I'm going to talk about in a second, but I think that these also offer utility. Radagon's Icon. Probably one of, if not the most useful talismans for any build level 60 or under. I think after level 60, the benefits, you start to lose out on the benefits and you start taking too much damage. 60 is borderline. I use it on a mage at 60, and I use that because I need the health and whatnot, and that allows me to, fortunately, do very good damage with my spells and still be tanky enough. But I can feel the increased damage at times. That being said, for pretty much all PvE, almost all PvP levels, this is good. Anything under 60. If you are going low level, this is a must-have, as this is a direct upgrade, in my opinion. I think that's why this deserves S tier. Again, though, 60 and under. You go into this with 125, that damage penalty, which I think it's around 8%. Let me negative 15. That's right. Negative 15%. No, it's way higher. The Soar Seal is wait. Oh, sorry. I have both. The Scar Seal is around 10. I thought it was 8. That's crazy. Yeah. Incredibly incredible downside is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Oh, lovely. I hope that we can't hear the pool pump at my place going off now. That's lovely. Because that just turned on. Let's see if I can hear that. Oh, no. Very lucky. Very, very lucky. Okay. That's good. That is good. It makes me happy. I'm going to cut that out of the video. But Radagon's, again, very, very good. Next, we're going to go Americas, though. Now, I know a lot of people like Americas. I think that it can be used in some casters at low levels especially. I just think the downsides, they can cause some issues. I'm still going to put this in A. No, I think I'm going to put this at top of B, probably. And I would put this guy, like, right there. Top of B, honestly, is where I would put that, I think. Yeah. That's where I would put that. It's just not as good. It has its uses, believe me, and I know there's some crazy sick-in-the-head people that use double Soar Seal builds. You need help. That's a 30% damage reduction. I get that you can use in, like, minimum level builds. It's not too big of a difference. I think it is. But I don't know. Now we're going to go to the Scar Seals. Now, I think that the Scar Seals both deserve a spot. Right, sorry, no. I'd say probably more in B. Not in A. In B. Yeah, like right around here, honestly. These are a 10%. It's not as bad as 15. It's still pretty bad. I think that you can use either of these on a level 70, maybe even an 80 build. You're still going to be taking damage a bit more, but the upsides can help, especially if you're really trying to stat crunch. It can be useful then, in my opinion. You know, you can get those very niche amounts of, oh, I need X amount of levels more, you know, and you're already stretching very thin. Again, though, it's for a very niche specific build. I'm going to need to, yeah, I need to see these to remember the names, because I usually just kind of slot these on. First, we have the, I'm assuming that is Stargazer. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, damn it. Lovely. Well, there goes my tier list. That's just lovely. All right, well, hey, we get to lose out on order. You can see what happens here. I lose out on order. We're gonna go with these talismans, though. I'm just gonna try and get them. We're gonna go with Stargazer. I think that these all this one deserves an A. This can be a make or break in a mage build, in my opinion. This really can work very well. I use it on a decent amount of mage builds. Those extra 5 points can allow you to put 5 points somewhere else. That goes for most of these. This one's the Prosthesis Wearer's Heirloom. Let me make sure. Yeah, the Prosthesis Wearers, that's a +5 dex. I think that's going to go right up here. I think most of these are going to go up here. Let's go to, this is the Star Scourge, this is the Strength one. So Strength and Dex, I'm going to put them together. These two can again make or break a build. I'm gonna put Dex a bit higher because with Strength you do have the option of two-handing, which can be very useful. I think with Strength builds especially, most of the time in PvP, you're gonna be two-handing. You're not really gonna want to be one-handing unless you're doing a dual wield, and then I'd argue you should go Dex. That's just kind of generally. All of these talismans, though, pretty good, especially for low levels. Good also in high levels, meeting certain points, extra damage. Let's see, where's the final one? Or no, that's not this is the Faith one. I'm gonna put the Faith one up with the Int one as well. These are both very good, in my opinion. Again, casting, meeting certain levels to get that spell working, being able to invest more into health or into another utility stat for a build, and then slotting one of these on. Pretty good, especially as a mage, which we'll get to the more magey items. Although they can be good, I think that there's a good reason that you could sacrifice your intelligence or faith stats to use one of these and sacrifice a ring slot that could do more mage stuff. Well, I guess since we're all kind of uncoordinated, well, here we have one more. We're just going to kind of go down the list now. Lovely. I spent like 5 minutes sorting that. Outer Gods. This one's going to go up as well here. Yeah, I think this is a good spot. The Outer Gods Talisman gives +5 to Arcane. Another one of these that's very useful. Arguably, though, I'd say it's more useful than the two stat increasing ones here. Because Arcane is very good. You could slot this onto Arcane build. That can be more damage, more build-up, and or casting damage. This is like a 3-in-1. I think Arcane builds have gotten a lot stronger over time. Status is great. The damage can now be pretty good if you do it right. This guy's kind of like a jack of all trades in a way. I would argue. But I think the higher the build potentially. I would argue that. Next up, I want to tackle these guys. Where's the cerulean version? Here we go. These are the Crimson Seed and then the Cerulean Seed. Crimson Seed, I would say, goes into a nice A. Probably like around there. This increases the amount of healing you get from a flask. I don't know if it has by 30%. That can be very, very good. That can let you save you on more flasks. I just think that's very good. Unfortunately, its counterpart, the Cerulean Seed Talisman, I'm going to put that down in C. I don't think it's very good. Honestly, I might even put that down in D. I think so. Yeah, I think in D. If you are in a situation where you need this, you have too much FP, in my opinion. PvE, sure, if you're dumping into Mind, go for it. I just don't, I think it's a waste of a slot, in my opinion. Your FP's pretty much gonna be too low for you to ever benefit from this. If you are in a situation where this is gonna max you out instead of a normal FP drink, uh, you really should just be lowering your mind, in my opinion, for PvE wise. And then in arena, both of these are useless because you can't really use flasks usually. Well, in 1v1s, it can vary in different arena types, but in 1v1s, not really. Let me think if there's anything else. I'm just gonna try and move some of these to the bottom. Before we move on into the next one, I want to then talk about, we're gonna try and move all of these over here. I want to talk about kind of the icon. I guess that would be the best way of like the weapon talismans. They don't interact with a specific weapon. But or like they don't interact. It's not like, oh, the twin blade talisman is exclusive to twin blades. It's just its name that. When I started Elden Ring, I thought that's how it was. I thought that was the case. Not they aren't really. And can be better, can be worse for. Well, they are objectively better for that. I just think they're a little misleading. Let me do a quick glance to see if I'm missing any. Yes, there's the bow. We're gonna put you with the other arrow ones. I think that's all of. Nope, two hand. There we go. Now that should be all of them. If not, I'm gonna come back to that later. We're gonna start with the curved sword one. In my opinion, I think that this is the worst one. In a PvP encounter, at what point are you going to be able to get, or sorry, no, this is not the worst one. My apologies, I'm mixing up with the twin blade. This one's actually pretty good. This is around a C tier, I'd argue. This is for guard counters. My apologies. Guard counters. I think that's pretty good. Guard counter builds, especially with the deflecting tier now, can be very, very good. And this increasing damage is very good. Again, there's a holy bug. If you want to learn about the holy bug, I'd go look that up. There's a bug with that. But this can be pretty good, especially on those. I think that that's why it deserves a nice spot in C tier. Now we're going to get on to the Axe Talisman. Axe Talisman, people love this in PvE. PvP... I think it can be alright. It's just you're never really using charged heavy attacks usually unless you're doing some gimmick. For that, I really think, unfortunately, it deserves to be kind of top of D. Maybe we could put it low C later. It's a PvE one, in my opinion. It's almost a PvE one, but you can use it. I just think that there's better options. Dagger Talisman. This guy gets to go up into B. I'd probably say like around here. In B. Pretty good. Also, as we know, the closer to the number, I consider the better. This is a B. The crits, very, very good. You can use other talismans to interact with that, although I think actually we'll get to those. I think that using more crit talismans, not good. But backstabs and parries, this thing can demolish. If you're fighting a gank squad, especially an over-leveled one, and you can get a lucky parry, this can take a single enemy out of the fight completely. And that's very, very, very good. But, again, can be niche. You can be wasting a slot. You're relying on parries and stuff. So I think it deserves a nice B tier in there. Next up, the Shield Talisman. Great Shield Talisman specifically. I think it has a difference. No, I think it's okay. A flat 20. Yes. 20 to stamina, yeah. Damage while guarding. And a 10 to guard increase. I think there is a difference in PvP. I could be wrong. Either way, though, still a good talisman. Like around here, I actually use this I use it sometimes on my Shield of Night build, my anti-mage. This can be good. This can actually be, I'm gonna put these right next to each other because these can work well in a deflection build, especially. These two can pair very well, in my opinion. Hammer. This guy's gonna go right here. People are not blocking a lot in Elden Ring. In my opinion, if someone's blocking, and with how combat works, in Dark Souls 3, the block ring, the block bypassing ring was a lot more useful. You have kicks in Elden Ring. You have other Ashes of War that can bypass blocks or really easily shred through stamina. This is one of those where you'd have to kind of switch to it. I just don't think it works then that way, unfortunately. We're gonna get to Lance last in this. So we're gonna go Spear. I think Spear is one of those that deserves to be like right up here. This is a build-defining talisman. Thrust, very, very good. Or is it called Pierce in Elden Ring? I always mix up my terminology. Piercing, very, very, very good. Counter hits, plus 15 in PvP, crazy good. The Leo ring is what's known in Dark Souls 1. I'm pretty sure 2. Yes, I think Dark Souls 2 has Leo ring as well. If not, it's a variant. And Dark Souls 3, Leo ring, excellent. This here as well is excellent. Put this with spears, with great spears, rapiers. You could even use weapons that have thrusting like straight swords or great swords. Claymore can do crazy, crazy, crazy damage, especially if you have poise. Pair this with the poise talisman, you can do damage. Next up, Twin Blade. This is the one that I was thinking of. This is a PvE tier. Oops, there we go. This is a PvE tier talisman. I think it's even worse than defensive talismans. This is one of those where it increases your damage on the end of your, by 45%, still good, but at the end of your combo. Confessors who perceive momentum, final strike on their onslaught. So that means that you have to go through your chain combo, get 45 damage. In PvP, I'm sorry, not gonna happen. Unless they're AFK or incredibly dumb, you are not going to be in a situation where this works. It's gonna be so niche. To the point where I think it's PvE tier. I think that it could be good in PvE. PvP, there's dodging, there's movement. The enemy isn't just going to walk right up to you and trade with you or just try and tank a bunch of hits. It's not going to work, unfortunately. That's why I think it deserves there. Now we have, this was a Shadow of the Erdtree edition, the Pearlescent. This is for Elemental. This is the one I will also use on my Anti-Mage a bit more with blocking. Is it as good? I don't really think so. Oops, you are meant to stay there. Is it as good? Yeah. No, not really. Uh-oh. Did my power just go out? I hope not. Everything just turned off. That's not good. I hope not. My lights just went out. That is something that could have just happened. No? Okay, sorry. I thought my power went out. That was terrifying. Oh, what a Blunder stream. Oh, I'm gonna have to make so many cuts to this. Pearlescent. Great Shield Talisman. This is the Elemental variant. It does not have the physical guard negation. It's purely Elemental. For that, I think it's a bit worse because it doesn't have that stamina. Or is it the stamina? Is it the... Yeah, it doesn't have the stamina that the other one has. And that's unfortunate. I think that this right here, that's why it kind of deserves a C. No, I'd probably actually put it in a D. I use it, but it's on a specifically very niche build that parries spells, and for that reason, it's not amazing. Now we're going to go into another PvE, the Lance Talisman. Not good at all. The only time I've ever used this was in there's two fights. Gaius, I think it's Gaius. I think I used it in Gaius. I forget if you can use Torrent in Gaius or not, it's been a minute. But Elden Beast. That's what I was looking for. Elden Beast. Literally in base game, this is a waste of a talisman because you cannot use Torrent in PvP. Now I'm going to talk about seamless co-op, where you can. This could be alright, especially if you swap to it and you're using a tool to get things off. Rofo, the Gurm, loves using the Smith's Grip Spear. Very good on Torrent, in my opinion. A great knockdown. and this can then do a decent chunk. Unfortunately, it has to go in PvE. Literally no use for it in PvP generally, less in arenas. We get to now go on to the little jar. Actually, no, we're gonna do the little jar later. No, you know what? Let's do it now. Little jar and the perfume. We'll do these two, kind of mix it up. This is a consumable talisman. This increases pots. I think throwing knives, jar, companion jar. There we go. Companion jar increases the attack of throwing pots. Okay, it is just pots. Now in vanilla, this it was niche. It could be okay. It's gotten a lot better. It deserves like probably a low C. It's gotten better, especially with the big pots, and then you can use both the pot helmets. Very good. Perfumer talisman. I would argue it's a little bit better than these two, especially because you can now put it with perfume weapons, which can be very niche but good. Perfumes aren't amazing in PvP. PvE, they used to be very good until they got nerfed. PvP, they just don't have that stagger that the other weapons have. It's just not as amazing. Still can be good, increases perfumes, and people forget the perfume consumables, which I think are great to fit on dexterity builds, especially builds that don't use much mind. All the different types of perfumes can work great on there, especially the offensive perfume one. The offensive consumable perfume, amazing with that. Very, very, very good. Jump talisman. I'm going to put it probably like here. I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think it's bad. You're really going to see this more in people you invade with using this. 7.5 is still alright, but jumping, you can stack it for an 18 with the black armor and the black feathers, both of these. Or sorry, not with both, with one or the other. I was thinking of the legs. The legs don't work on this. It can be good. It's not amazing. I think you get more use out of the dagger or the spear than you can this, but this is a more general one. The bow talismans are up next. We'll get to the two-handed as a kind of wrap-up conclusion. The bow talismans. We're going to start with sharp shot. This is the aim down sights one, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. I'm going to put this high D, unfortunately. Some of these other ones are just going to be better, and you're going to figure out why. Aiming down sights with a bow, unless you're sniping with a great bow, not very good. That damage increase can turn into a one-shot. I think, though, when you're using a bow, you should be locking on. You should not be aiming down sights, usually. I know that there's some crazy tech you can do. I just don't think it's that good, unfortunately. And an 8%. For aiming down sights with bow, not good. And that's aiming down sights. That's the little binoculars zoom in that puts you in. That's not just locking on. Next, we have the arrows reach talisman. Now, bow builds, this used to be a requirement. Also, sorry for hitting the mic. This used to be a requirement for builds. This used to be an absolute requirement for bow builds specifically for that increased range. Very, very, very good. Also for some spells, increase their range. Nowadays, you're not going to see bow builds using this. You're going to see them using soaring and sting. That being said, where it lost out on bow builds, it has gained in niche. Is it amazing? No, absolutely a D tier. But top of D, and you're thinking, why top of D here? This actually should probably go pretty low here. Why top of D? Smith script weapons. The throwing attacks can go very far with this. And the damage fall off on Smith script weapons can be pretty massive. This negates that. This negates the damage fall off. I use this on a Smith script build. It's this plus Smith script hammer plus some other things, but this is the one that I use. I don't even use bows, and I use this. It is niche, underrated, Ooh, potentially underrated. Maybe, no, not really. But it has its niches. It avoids PvE. It has its niches. Put this on a Smith script build, you are going to see a decent damage increase, like 50 to maybe even 100, depending on what you're doing. Very, very good for that, in my opinion. Honestly, I'd probably put it like, yeah, right here, right here. I think it can get more. No. I think that this can provide more use. These two can provide more use than that, but that one does have its uses. Very situational. Arrow's Soaring Sting. If you are using a bow build in PvP, which I have one, you're going to be using this one. It's a combination of the two, but a little bit weaker. It's the combination of Arrow's Reach and Sting, a little weaker, and you can stack it with Sting for just even more damage. I think that these two deserve their spots right here. If you can only choose one for a bow build, I would probably go with Soaring Sting, as you're sure you might get a little bit more damage, but the increased range kind of negates that damage increase, the higher damage increase, where you're going to be getting a more balanced number, where this is going to be high and low. That's why I think that that one's a little higher than this, but yeah. All right, now we get to finish off with the kind of icons. That is going to be the two-handed talisman. I'm going to be putting this up here. The two-handed talisman is incredibly good in PvE and PvP. Put this on a strength build, plus 10% damage. You do nothing for increased damage. You are doing nothing but two-handing. Incredibly good for that reason. A deserved S tier, in my personal opinion. So incredibly good. The two-handed sword talisman deserves to be up there. This is going in outclassed. Oh, lovely. I get to talk about the crit weapons. I'm also going to bring over the damage increasing talismans, pair them kind of with the crit stuff, because I get to talk about these as well. I think, unfortunately, the crit regenerate the two crimson the two daggers, the assassins Crimson Dagger and Cerulean. Crimson provides HP, Cerulean provides FP. Both of these go into PvE tier. I'm gonna say probably around here. Actually, no, like here. They're not good in PvP at all. In my opinion, there is no situation where you want to waste talisman slots to get more FP from crits. There are easier ways. There's more utility-based ways. We even have regeneration things. I just don't think that they deserve to be in there anymore for that very reason. Or especially you could argue this one maybe. Ever since we got the Blessed Dew Cerulean one, it just is not worth it. Now we get to do, I think these are the low damage one. The Red Feather Branch Sword and the Blue Feather Branch Sword. Increases attack power when current HP is low. Red Feather gets to go at the bottom of D tier. Blue Feather gets to go in, honestly, I'd say outclassed if I could. I'm gonna put this. You know what? We're gonna make a new tier. We're gonna make F tier. Honestly, that's going to be. Oh wait, no, this is outclassed. Which is right here. We're gonna add a row below. That's gonna be F tier. This has no use in my opinion. This is such a bad talisman. Are we gonna do F? You know what, we're gonna cut this out of the video. Honestly, if I make the video, I'm just gonna narrate this. I want to put this in F. I'm going to put this in PvE. People say that the what's it called? The blue ring from Dark Souls 1, I think 2, and in 3 is not good. The blue stone ring, similar to the blue feathered branch. Increasing defense when at low HP is not good. The only circumstance is this is a PvE thing. At very low levels in PvE, when you don't have other very good rings, this can be a saver. But when you get out of low level PvE, that's it. Now, why is Red Feather up in D? You can make some very niche builds Sunlight Blade has this one guy. Oh gosh, I forget his name. Comrade. Oh, my lamp is flashing. Lovely. 1 second. I gotta fix that. Living in a haunted house, dude. These ghosts, they don't like my take. Clearly do not like my take on the red feathered branch sword talisman. I think that they can though. Sunlight Blade has a guy, I think his name is Comrade. He does these like one-shot builds. He always is in like Sunlight Blade's like top 10 videos for PvP. I remember him doing stuff like that. You can stack this with other buffs to make some like nasty one-shot gimmick builds. Um, but I think that you're gonna get a better option with some other ones, which we're gonna get to, which is the other two, the Ritual Sword and Ritual Shield. Um, Ritual Shield, I think, is a PvE one. I think it goes here. You can do some things with it. Pair it with like the invulnerability bubble, and then that's basically 2 free hits. You can take the invulnerability pops, and then this gets that next hit, reduces it. This one though, this goes like probably, I'd say top of D. The Ritual Sword Talisman. Pair this with a great bow. Pair this with Shabriri's Howl. Pair this with some things, and it can do damage. That is a plus 10% when at full HP for no cost. It's a swap talisman. It can do damage. I think it's deservedly there. Next we're going to go with some casting things, it looks like. I'm going to get all my casting things. You go down there. Where's the moon? Where's this blue one? And then we're gonna talk about the casting damage ones first. I think, let me quickly, also I can clear out, yes, I need you, and any other casters, any other casting related items that I can think of. Not that I see. Again, if we get near to it, I'm gonna save the magma for later. If we get to it, I'll discuss it. If not, it'll come up. We're gonna start with the 2 high-end casters, which are the Flock Canvas and the Mass Graven Talisman. These are the upgraded versions of their little ones. These provide an 8% to sorceries for the Graven Mass and an 8% to incantations for the Flock. Very, very good. I'd argue probably around A tier for these two. Because that 8% can really add up, especially on nuke spells. These are good to have on sorcery builds, if you are at a higher level especially. Lower level, maybe. I think that you could get a benefit from these two more, potentially. Actually, I'm going to put these around, probably here, yeah. Nah, like right here, yeah. These two. And I'm going to move these two up here because I think they have more use. Yeah, I think that's a good combination, honestly, actually. We're going to put the occult one up there. So I think that these two have their nice uses. That damage bump can be good, and it stacks with their little, the other ones, which is the Graven School and Faithful Canvas. They can stack with their subsequent ones, so you could put both Graven Talismans or both Flock. So for that as well, I'm going to put these guys probably like right above America. Yeah, right above the America Source Seal. Honestly, that's going to go like that. Yeah, I think that's a better... Yeah, honestly. These two also stack very, very good. You could interswitch these. It really doesn't matter, in my opinion, for PvP. Like, interswitch them in the ranking, so it could be like this or that. Doesn't really matter. It's for casting. I think these are good. Again, you can stack them together. Damage is always nice. The Radigan Icon. I love this. Pretty much all of my casters use this. I personally use I use this even more than I'm gonna put this in a solid A. I think it goes like right here. Yeah. Honestly, probably like right here in between these two. I use these more than the damaging ones, although I think the damaging ones can be a bit better. I prefer faster casting speeds. That means combos, that means more damage, that means more time casting spells, keeping me away from people, and keeping me away from that time up animation where I could get hit. Very good. It adds virtual dex. If I remember, it's 30 virtual dex. Yeah, 30 virtual dex, which means that I think you need, oh gosh, I forget how virtual dex fully works. I think you need, it's 20 dexterity then. I could be very wrong. Maybe it's like 30. Oh, there goes my dogs barking. It's around that dexterity amount. You need an X amount of actual dexterity, which adds to your virtual. And then if you add these two, you can get max cast speed. Very, very good. We'll talk about actually max cast speed up next. Now, you'd say, oh, well, that's very good. And the beloved Stardust, even better. That maximizes the maximum all the way. There's a 30% damage increase, though. Now, that can be very troublesome. And for that reason, it ends up in C tier. Now you're saying, whoa, 30%? You just said that the double source seals earlier. That's like really bad, especially at low levels. And higher levels, 30% out of your mind? Yes. Yes, but this guy has a different thing to it. Saint Riot, I credit a lot with that. Oh, I love these dogs that just bark. Saint Riot, I credit a lot with this. I'm probably going to put this, yeah, like maybe, yeah, end a C. If you are a low-level build who wants to cast, use this. Don't use, I wouldn't recommend using these guys then, personally. But use this. Defenses, especially at minimum level, and the damage that players are going to do you is so negligent that you can end up benefiting and using this, and it doesn't matter. Low levels, I would highly recommend this for a low-level invader. Saint Riot has a great video on Beloved Stardust. Highly recommend you check that out for more information. For that reason, I think it goes around in C tier, very low C tier, almost D. Now we're going to get on to the Primal Glintstone Blade. This one reduces your FP by 25%. Or 25%, sorry. Reduces your FP spell cost by 25%. That's really good. What's the downside? Minus 15% HP. So you can actually see, someone with 1900 HP, 60 Vigor, gets 615. Not good. Not good at all. That is such a bad hit that, in my opinion, that takes it down to PvE tier. That health detriment, especially on a caster who already needs more health and has reduced flasks, this is just makes it even worse, in my opinion. This is something that you should avoid in any PvE build unless you are doing the most, or PvP build, unless you're doing the most gimmicky type of thing, in my opinion. Really not good. And even then, a gimmick build with this, you're better off using anything else or just reworking the build, truthfully. Moon of Noxtella now. In any other game, in Dark Souls 3, in Dark Souls 2, in Dark Souls 1, this would be very good, especially in 1. Increases memory slots by 2. Here's the problem. Here's why I think it deserves to fall into PvE category. Honestly, probably like here. As an invader, you can get all of the memory slot items for absolutely free. You don't even need to level mind. Attunement slots are not tied to mind in Elden Ring, which some people love, some people hate. I think that is a very good boon for casters. Unfortunately, it makes this completely useless. You can't stack spells like you can in Dark Souls 1 and 2 because of the FP bar in Elden Ring. If there was spell stacking and like spell amount cast where you get, I don't know, Fireball and there's 8 charges to it, like Dark Souls 1 and 2 where they didn't have the FP bar, you could make an argument for this, even if you could get access to all memory slots, because certain spells would take up more attunement slots. Now, no, not really. Not at all. I think that this is pretty useless, especially with how many you get. If you are in a situation where you need 2 more slots, I think that you've got too many spells there. You have too many cooks in the kitchen. Just not good in my opinion. Now people, I put this in the spells. This isn't really a spells thing, but I thought that I should discuss this as well. This is the Carrion Filigreed Talisman. I use this on several builds actually. I'll use this. Very good, very good. I need to find it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I got Control F for this. Carrion Filigreed. Oh, I passed it. Lovely. This reduces the FP cost of skills. This can be very good. This can mean more skills used, and for that, I think that this deserves a good seat here. Honestly, up here, almost B, not really. This can be a good slot usage though, if you have an extra slot. You know, if you're just doing Erdtree Favor, health, and then either two-hand or turtle. And you're like, I want to use skills though, but I have such low FP because I never leveled it. This can be a game changer for that, but not a massive game changer. For that reason, I think it deserves a nice spot, like right around there. We're going to get to the kind of if X buff guys in a minute, because I want to kind of cover all those in one go. So we'll talk about kind of like the madness, this guy, the Moog one. We're gonna talk about those in a second. I do want to take a slight detour. We're going to talk about, if I can find all 3 of them, the winged kind of talismans. Not winged, I think is the thing. Let's find. Yeah, rotten winged sword, the sword insignias, and Millicent's prosthesis. Millicent's prosthesis is a direct upgrade, and why I think it deserves probably like an A tier, probably like right around here, is a direct upgrade to the prosthesis wear, and it's so good in the fact that you can stack prosthesis wear and Millicent's together. Millicent's gives a +5 to dexterity, and consecutive hits increase your damage. It's, I think, around the same as the default winged one. Still very good. And if you really want to go crazy, I think you can stack all 3. I could be wrong. Maybe you can only stack the Ringed and Millicent's. You can't stack these 2 together. I forget. I do forget. But pretty good. Especially for spam builds, daggers. Put this on a dual dagger build. You are good. Put this on a flail build or a wild flail build, can do all right, but dual daggers PvP is very good. If you can get wild strikes, which is very hard to work in PvP, good as well. Now we're going to get to these 2. I think that these fall into probably a high D. No, I'm going to say a low C. These are gimmick-wise. If these 2 stack, you can stack these together, do some crazy consecutive damage with daggers, especially other dual straight swords as well. Can put out some crazy damage. It requires you to really keep on the pressure though and keep hitting. But they can be pretty good. These increase damage again when more is done. Speaking of, actually, let's talk about the Godskin Swaddling Cloth. Unfortunately, this is going to go in PvE. In my opinion, no, you know what? I'll put in low D, actually very low D, like right there. Like right there. Unfortunately, it's just not very good. I'd rather get more damage than getting some health back. It's not like how it was in Dark Souls 3, where you could do Brigand's Daggers or a straight sword or whatever, have the Old Wolf Curved Greatsword on your back as a backpack to get even more health back, pair both Pontiff Rings, and then if you really want to go crazy instead of Tears of Nile, Karthus Beacon, can't do that here. This is the only way of consecutive hits. You don't have another weapon where it's from what I recall, you do not have another weapon where consecutive hits regen HP. If I am wrong, still that doesn't change much because it's probably a heavier weapon. I know none of the daggers pretty much do that. So, yeah, again, you're kind of going to struggle. I know that, like, Blasphemous Blade, that's per kill. But again, that's per kill, that's not per damage. The 2 FP regenning talismans. Or FP and HP regen talismans. I'm gonna put these in. I'm gonna put these honestly here. No, I think these deserve to be up here, especially because of Arena. In Arena, these can be very good. Um, especially the FP regenerating one. I used to use this the Cerulean plus 2 before the DLC came out on a level 60 mage build. I used to use the plus 2 equivalent of this. I have swapped off to this one ever since. Regenerating FP can be very good in invasion, especially with those blue flasks when you run out. You just put this baby on, replace it with Radgun because you're not casting anymore, and now you're going to be getting spells over time. HP regeneration, especially at lower level builds, can be very, very, very good. Honestly, I'd probably actually do this. More like it. Because I think that this is just amazing for mages. It allows you to passively get back casts if you have run out of spells, especially if you're doing, again, 60 mage. He's a spell blade, uses a lot of weapons, spells at ranges. They cost a lot, though. For me, I couldn't put as much into mind. This kind of circumvents that. This one can be pretty good as well. Most of the time I see people using this, though, they're cowards and they're running away and regenning. I do that too, but that's kind of what that is. Ooh, now we get to go on to... You know what? I think that I'm going to do next the... Yeah, let's get the Crucible ones out of the way. Where's the other Crucible? There's that Crucible. I think that's the all-headed Crucible. Let me do a quick glance over if I'm missing any Crucible ones. No, I'm not. Oh, yes, I am. I need to pull up the Crucible ones to kind of discuss them because some are very good, some are very bad. Let's start with Scale. I'm pretty sure this is like the best one. Yeah, reduces damage taken from critical hits. There's no downside to this. This is just reduces crit damage. I think that that can be like niche. I think that especially if you've got someone critting you, it can be good. Again, not amazing. Honestly, I'd actually probably put this more in D tier. Probably like right here. Yeah, like right here. If you're getting backstabbed, there's an issue with you in Dark Souls 3 where backstabs were more common. This is better. It's equivalent in Dark Souls 3. It's a bit better. I think also still not as amazing. In Elden Ring, it's harder to get backstabs. If you're allowing yourself to be backstabbed, that's an issue because it's a lot harder to do in Elden Ring. And you have to have forethought or know that someone's parrying or backstabbing you a lot to put this on. For that reason, it's the best of... Well, it's one of the better Crucible Talismans. We're going to get to, I think it's Fine Feather in a minute, which has its own thing going for it. But, yeah, it's like, eh. Next up, we get the Winged Talisman, or the Feather Talisman. This reduces, I think, headshots. No, improves dodge rolling, but increases damage taken. I actually think that this is bad. This is not a good talisman. This goes in D tier. Probably the worst of D tier. Now you think, oh, well, increased iframes, that's good. No! No! Not good! Not good! The damage increase, first off, is pretty bad for some extra iframes. Secondly, I think that this is a very bad thing, especially if you do multiple different builds and different rollings, or you're slotting this on, because it messes up your timing. Timing is very important with rolling, and I think this is not good. It's not even good on fat rolling either, because you're taking more damage when you're fat rolling. With a fat rolling build, you're wanting heavy armor. You're just counteracting it. Why? Just medium roll at that point, you know? And so for that reason, I think this is one of the worst talismans to ever have in general in both PvP and PvE. I guess it could be niche in PvE for certain things. I don't know, challenge runs, etc. It's probably good for hitless runs, maybe. I don't know. But actually, probably not. Again, messes up the timing. I think for that reason, that's not very good. The not one is the headshot one, I think. Yes. Not good. Honestly, it's just not good at all. It's even worse. When are you getting headshot in PvP? I don't know. When you getting headshot in PvE? Incredibly rarely. Not good at all. Not good at all, in my opinion. If you're getting headshot, it's so niche that you would never be wearing this. I think luckily it does not decrease damage taken. But oh my gosh, this has something going for it, not has nothing. Now we get to actually talk about the good before the worst. The feather improves backstep, iframes, but increases damage taken. You can pair this with the, oh gosh, where is it? There's an armor set that increases backstep, and yeah, I think it's the retaliatory. Rolling or backstepping. You compare this with also, I think it's Leida's armor. Let me see if I can get her armor. Yeah, Leida's armor. Yeah, increases the damage of rolling attacks, backsteps, and dashing attacks by 5% in PvP. 12% for this talisman, which increases the power of roll and backstep. And then you get more iframes on backstep, but in a little bit increased damage. I think it's 10%. I think that if you combo these three, you have a very interesting backstepping, rolling, running attack build there, especially with backsteps right there. For that reason, it just barely probably makes it to, I'd say probably top of D. Oh no, where did I put it? Oh no, there, it's still there. I was like, where did I put? Probably like right there. I'd say top of D. Yeah, probably like right there. You could argue maybe even C for a unique build, but I think there is still a downside. You could just pair these two, and it'd be just as good. But these extra frames actually can make backstepping good. I think it gives you some iframes on backstep. That's what it is, where normally you do not, and or increases defense. It's one of the two. I forget the exact thing. Still, it's pretty good. It's probably the best of the Crucible talismans. Now we get to talk about the worst one. This is the most useless talisman ever. It combines all of them into one, but increased damage taken. It stacks all of them, which means that if this is worse, sure, you can get the backstab defense and the headshot defense. The downside makes it worse than equipping one or the other. For that reason, once again, this has to go at the bottom of D, because PvE is its own thing. Like, these have utilization in PvE. Alright? Still very bad, but uses. Bana D is like the worst. This is why I want to make an F tier, but, you know, never use these. Honestly, when I make the video, I'm probably going to make a video with this. I'm going to add an F tier, and I'm just going to narrate over it. Never, ever use these. It is never a situation where you should be using it. It's so bad. I cannot. I can't get into words how bad these are. Just the worst. Let's go into now kind of niche build defining type of items, I think. Before we get into utility, we're gonna do no, let's do the damage increase ones first, like Moog and these other ones, and then we will do oh, and I forgot a casting thing, so we'll get to that later. We'll do that, and then we'll do Moog after, or we'll do the Moog kind of rot talisman, and then we'll do these next ones after. Let me think. Are there any that I'm missing? Yeah, I need Trina right over here. Any others? No, not really. We'll get to these other kind of ones in a minute. I'm just gonna move them for now over here. Yeah, okay, let's start with let's just go down the list. Trina's. This was added in Chow the Erd Tree. It gives you a X%, an X% damage. I think it's a, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's a 12% in PvP. There we go, thank you. It's a 20%, I know it's a 20 in PvE. So 12 for 20 seconds, just kind of like the other ones. Kindred of Rot, for example, has a, yeah, it's a, oh, is it a flat 20 in PvP as well? That's still good, but I think that's a good bounce for sleep. You are stunning someone, and when that stun happens and it's nearby, you instantly get an extra damage boost on their stun. For that reason, I think it's incredible. It's really, really good. I would say probably Yeah, I'd say here. Sleep is very broken. I'm gonna take the madness one. Where's the madness one? The madness one I'm going to double check, but I think it does the same number. It's just better. Sleep stuns you, drains your FP. Madness is sleep on steroids. 12% for 30 seconds. Maybe the math is wrong here. This one says 20 unless I'm dyslexic. Yeah, I think this should be 30. And or this should be 20. It's one or the other. Aged one's exaltation. You proc madness. That's a free hit you can usually get in. Increased damage on that free hit. That can lead into a combo where you're killing. Incredibly good for that. Just incredibly, incredibly good. Now we get to the worst ones. Well, first we have not the worst ones. We saw Moog. Moog's another very good one. I'm going to put this probably like right here. These two make you do a chunk of damage, and then you get more damage. Very, very good. Kindred of Rot used to be pretty good on poison builds because these two only existed, so you either go bleed or poison. Unfortunately, now I think it's the weakest of these four. Still very good, but the weakest because this is stun, damage, more damage, damage, more damage, stun, more damage from damage over time. Not amazing. Now we get on to the ones that I don't remember much. We have the Blade of Mercy, the Crusade Insignia, and the Dried Bouquet. Am I missing any others with that one? No, it is those three. So we're going to start with the Dried Bouquet, which I'm pretty sure this is a PvE. Yeah, this is PvE. You could technically use this in Seamless Co-op, and it can have its uses. This is PvE. The damage increase is alright, but, like, I don't know. In Seamless Co-op you can use this, but most people in Seamless, when you're invading, if you use summons, they ignore the summons. Honestly, if you really want to make a build around this, you would have unleveled summons that are either do range or like the soul jars of fortune. I could think of maybe things like that just either get really close up and annoying and or are ranged so they pick it off. That's a nice damage increase, but in Seamless. But in PvP normal and in the arena, besides that one arena that lets you summon, even then I'd argue it's kind of like the Seamless situation there, useless. PvE, it can have its uses. PvP, useless. Next up, Crusade Insignia. This is raises attack after defeating an enemy. This is a 10%. Unfortunately, I think it's too niche. I'm pretty sure it procs if a host kills an enemy. I don't remember though. If it does not, I just don't think it's good. It's one of those where it's just too niche. It's another PvE. Honestly, in PvE, really, really good. That's really good for PvE. I'd probably put it like right here. Really, really good for PvE. PvP, pointless. Finally, Blade of Mercy. Raises attack power with each critical hit. I don't know why it says after each. After each, not with each. This can be good. I would argue probably not. I'm pretty sure it's with each. Performing a critical attack will refreshes. Okay, so it stacks with Dagger Talisman. That can be good. Again, though, I think if you're already using Dagger Talisman, it can have its uses. I think it's a D tier. It's one of these where it's like, oh, it has a niche. You could stack it with Dagger Talisman. But, like, I don't know. I personally wouldn't. I still think that makes it pretty good then. Because that's a guaranteed one-shot, but it's 2 Talisman slots then. The damage after, though, can be nice. It still can be nice. That's why it's kind of up here in the top of D. Just not amazing. Honestly, I would actually probably move this down to like D here. I could move this up to C. Kind of do that, I think, because I think you can stack these two. I don't know if you can stack Millicents in this though. Oh well. If this goes like to, in my opinion, bottom of D, if Millicents and this little one can't stack. I know the big one in Millicents can. If the little one, bottom of D, Millicent's is just a direct upgrade. Honestly, this would go into Outclassed. Okay. That's the three of those. Now we get to move on to these ones. These are probably the ones I'm most fond about. These are like the build defining, is how I would describe them. Um, they're very good. They have their uses. Build defining. Oh, shoot. No, we don't get to. There's one other. I forgot about this one, but it falls into the category of like Bitter Blade of Bare Mercy. It's the ailment. Yeah, ailment talisman. I think it falls into those more. This increases your status resistance by a huge chunk. Um, for that's after being so if you get after being afflicted. So if you get bled, it spikes your bleed resistance after for like a decent amount of time. Yeah, poison rot 120 seconds, frost hemorrhage 45, sleep madness 30. Honestly, sleep madness 30 that's pretty bad. But for that reason, this has its uses, especially if you're going against status builds. I'd probably put it like above Beloved Stardust. I'd probably put Beloved Stardust like, yeah, right here. It goes here. It can have its uses. All right, now we get onto the build specific things. I love these talismans. They have such weird interactions with things. We're gonna start with Blue Dancer. Very hard to get to work. People think Blue Dancer is bad. Yes, before the DLC, absolutely not good. Ever since the dragon forms and the Lamenter form, especially Lamenter form, have appeared, very good. This raises attack power the lower your equip load is. I have a build that I'm working on where it's Lamenter plus physical incantations. Any incantation that does physical damage. Usually, I do have some non-physical, but this works crazy well with other things that increase physical. Yeah, see, Rockheart, there goes my dogs barking. Very, very, very good, in my opinion. Just very, very good. But is it amazing? Outside of those builds, no. I think it has earned its spot in like a C tier, probably above the bows, because you could make this work better. Honestly, above the consumable one. Around there, I would say. Is it, you have to make a hyper-specific build, but it works really well in that hyper-specific build. Godfrey Icon. I love this one. Godfrey Icon. Pretty good. It's a certain percent in PvP. It's lower than in PvE, I think. Maybe. But this increases the damage of charged attacks, sorceries, and skills, the damage of charged skills, sorceries, and incantations. And you can see there is a lot of options here. A lot. This can do crazy, crazy, crazy damage when you are charging things. So you know how I said, oh, the axe isn't good for that? This is like just the superior version of the axe, in my opinion. Especially with sorceries. I think I'd probably put it like right here, honestly. It like right around here. Honestly, actually, like up here. It's really, really, really good for that reason. Oh, my beloved, the Smith Script Talisman. Oh, I can't say that. I develop a lisp when I say it. Smith Script Talisman. Bleh. Very good. Let me find where it's located. There it is. I keep losing it. This increases the damage of all thrown weapons, including and certain Ashes of War that are thrown. Claws of Night. Also increases Kukri, Fan Dagger, Harpoon. Which, by the way, if you're doing a Smith script build, put this guy on it. Very, very good. Can really catch some people off guard. Also, the Spectral Lance ability, as we can see, very, very good. Even works with the Spear of the Impaler, Mesmer's weapon. Very good for that reason. Can do very good damage it's earned its spot as like in a niche situation, whereas like these two you're pairing with a guard counter. This can be its own build up there with Godfrey. I'd argue better. If you're doing a Smith script build, look into the Arrow Reach Talisman. All right, look into it. I guarantee you it has some functionality. Technically, yes, you could probably save it for better. I use it on it though, especially when I'm hurling my hammer at a distance. Does wonders. Roar Talisman. Roar Talisman, very good as well. You can use this on things that increase your damage and then have a new moveset. Very, very good for that. You see it increases spells, certain spells, and Ashes of War damage. Very, very good. These are not boosted, sorry. Are not boosted, my apologies. Spells, where's the spells? Oh gosh, why am I forgetting it? The Roar of Regalia. Roar of Regalia. Very, very good. I was looking at hey, these aren't good. Roar of Regalia, though, yeah, Dragon Fire, Dragon Ice. Very, very good for that situation. I think, once again, it's up there. Probably better than Smith's Script. I'd do it like in this order, honestly. Alexander Shard. Easy S tier. The Shard of Alexander is an incredible talisman. Heavily boosts your skills. Pair this with Filigreed. Carrying Filigreed if you have low FP. Crazy, crazy, crazy damage. Very, very good. The rock, the stone, shattered stone. It has its uses. It stomps and kicks. The dry leaf arts. If you have a weapon, if you are using the dry leaf arts, especially Dane's footwork, use this. It's just a nice flat increase to damage. Highly recommend that. It is amazing. No, I think it like earns its spot right there, probably as the lowest of these ones, I think. No, not the lowest. There's some that are lower, I forgot, which we get to talk about now. The Magma, if I can find it, the Magma one. Magma. Oh, shoot. I don't yeah, there it is. Talisman of the Dread. This increases Magma, skills, sorceries, and incantations. It's niche, though. All of the Magma things are so inconsistently scattered that it isn't amazing. Bale's Tyranny. That costs Arcane. The Magma, the Gelmir sorceries and Rykards cost Int Faith. It's a mess, unfortunately. And it's because of how these all have so many different things. You basically, if you want to benefit from pretty much all of these, you'd have to make an Int Faith arc build, a triple build. There's no specific thing that benefits from all three. You'd probably be using like the faith, the dual casting talisman, or staff that can cast both sorceries and incantations. You lose out on that arc increase from like an arc staff or an arc seal. Just unfortunately, it can be nice. It's the worst of these. It deserves to be down here, unfortunately. Probably like over here. Unfortunately, you can use it, honestly, probably here. Can use it on like a Bale build. Use high Bale. Or if you're doing a Magma build, put it on a Magma build. But it's that mix of just two incantations and sorceries don't have things in common because of their different scalings. Better to just, in my opinion, stick to one or the other, and you're probably going to want to do a Magma Mage then use this, but otherwise don't. Oh, we get to the two movement talismans I was talking about earlier. These are... Here they are. The Retaliatory Cross Tree and the Lacerating Cross Tree. Retaliatory, like I said earlier, this is for rolling and back steps. For that reason, pretty good. It's better than the... it's probably like around here. Just very good. Pair it with the Crucible Wing Talisman. Can do some good stuff. Lacerating. I've got to remember what this is. Enhances the power of running attacks and running heavy attacks. You could pair both of them together. I'm going to say, honestly, this one's probably going to go up higher. Like, probably around here. Running attacks are very good in Elden Ring already. Put a spear with it. Doing crazy damage. Uh, that's what I would probably do. The Beast Talisman, the Divine Beast Talisman. Enraged Divine Beast. This increases storm-related things. This is a lot of things, though. This includes, like, ammunition. Like the storm wings. I have a bow build. I use this. I use the storm bone wings, or the storm bone arrows. Storm wing bone arrows. I use those there. Very, very good for that. You can see thunderstorms, incredibly good on Stormhawk. Storm kick. This one, Zamor Ice Storm is very, very strong. Storm Blade, Storm Assault, Storm Stomp, Storm Collar even. Very good. Ice Storm and the Beast Tornado. This is one of those where it's niche, has its uses though. Yeah, it's probably a little bit better. You could get more use out of this than the Smith script one in my opinion. Especially with some of these Ashes of War that are storm related that shred. I think of the what's it called? Storm Collar. Thunderstorm from the Stormhawk axe, or a Zamor Ice Storm on either the weapon or the sorcery. It can shred. Very, very good. Next up, we have Rilana. I always forget her name. Rilana's cameo. This increases the damage you do after a short time when holding a stance. This is things like Square Up from straight swords, or Unsheath from katanas, or Winged Stance is the one I like to think of. Winged Stance for the light greatsword. 45%. Insane. It's like a one attack type thing, but it can do very good, and you can pair it very well. I think that, once again, it's niche. Probably a bit more niche than these two flat damage ones. Still can be good, though. Still can be pretty good. So you can see a lot of these end up in C. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Now we are moving on to, before we get to utility, those are utility. I want to talk about, let's move my utility stuff there. I want to talk about these three guys. Four guys actually, and then we will talk about the roots, which are here. Let's put these two here. The roots, Scorpion, and then we'll go into utility after. Oh, and this casting one. You know what? Let's get the casting one out of the way. This is the, oh gosh, Old Lord's Talisman. Yes, Old Lord's Talisman. This increases the duration of incantation, sorceries, and rallying skills. It increases their duration by 30%. You can see there's a good amount. Buffing is the main use for this. If you're doing buff stuff that isn't not related to resins, I would highly recommend that. If you're not using resins or the consumable, if you're using spells for buffs, highly recommend that. For that reason, honestly, it's just such a utility one. I'm probably gonna put it up in, I'm gonna put like right around here, honestly. It doesn't interact with the talismans from what I recall. It's probably gonna be like right around, I'm gonna say like right here. Yeah, I'd put it like right here. Verdigris. Not good. I made a build actually for Rofo, bringing him up again. I had a stream where I made a build for him. It's not a good build. You want that 15% reduction in PvP. Start fat rolling, or not even fat rolling. Start over encumbered. You literally lose on rolls. You need to be quick stepping. You need a weapon with quick step. You cannot be in open world. You're not gonna survive in that. You need to be in tight corridors. It's unfortunately not good. Fat rolling 7.5 defense. You really need to stack it with another thing. It's just not good, in my opinion. The concept is interesting. The execution is not good. It's meant to be like the antithesis to the Blue Dancer charm. I think it fails in pretty much every way, to the point where it really deserves to be down low with these other guys. Really not good. Next one, where's that healing one? I think the healing ones are up here. Nope, that's flat increases. Let's find the, it's going to be probably near Taker's cameo, if I were to guess. Maybe not. No. Well, let's look at Taker's cameo while I try and remember the name of this thing. I thought it would be up here. Is the wiki missing this? Again, remember, I'm blind, so it could just not be in here. Or it could be there. I'm just scrolling over it. No, it is not. Let me quickly... Fextra. Elden Ring Talismans. Let me go to Talismans very quickly. I need to pull this up because it's not there. Again, probably scrolled over it 4 times and you're pointing at your screen. It's there, it's there. Sorry, I didn't see it. Let me... Oh gosh. Dude, they just moved it somewhere where it's just not. Consume. Wow. Okay. I just don't know why I'm not remembering it now. It's not a good one already. The talisman that I was going to talk about, it could have had a nice utility, but unfortunately, it's just not good at all. Is this really missing as well? Is Fextra missing it as well? No way. There it is, Talisman of Lord's Bestowal. Let me see if it's in here. Oh, yeah, it is. I missed it completely. See, blind as a bat. There we go. Talisman of Lord's Bestowal. This makes it so you have more poise for like a few seconds. It's really not good. I could have sworn it stacked more. Yeah, about 54 poise for 2 seconds. That's nothing, unfortunately. I think realistically it should be like 2 seconds for tears, for Crimson Tears, your Estus, and a higher amount for flasks. It says that on here. I don't know if that's right. Drinking flask prevents stagger for 16. Listen, unfortunately, I don't know. It's already very niche and not very good in my opinion. It doesn't like around here probably. I've tested. I think it should do more for flask. If it does, hey, I'm wrong. I barely used it, and from what I remember, it wasn't good. So it's probably gonna go right here. Honestly, it's gonna go like next to Swaddling Cloth. Taker's Cameo. Here we go. Taker's Cameo though is the one I like. It's not amazing. This is a PvE weapon. I like it though, but it's plus 30 health and then a 3% when an enemy is killed. Use this for people going through PvE and you're hiding because they shredded your HP. It's not as good. I think that this is a top PvE pick. Same with this one. The Antler Taker. Yeah, the Ancestral Spirit Horn. It does the same thing but for FP. I think these two deserve to be up there. Now we get to talk about, before the Scorpions, we're going to talk about resistances. And forgive me, I'm going to have this up the entire time for names and amounts. So we're going to start with this really green mangled one, which I need to, oh, lovely, we've got people vacuuming. So that's going to be fun to hear. Unfortunately, that's how it's going to be. Let me see. This is the Immunizing Horn Charm. This one I think is pretty good. It gives immunity. Immunity, from what I remember, is poison and scarlet rot. This can be a neat one. Honestly, I'm probably gonna be putting this one exclusively up in B tier. That resistance to poison and scarlet rot, especially if you've got someone spamming it, can be very, very, very useful. Stalwart, that is blood loss and frost. I think that's kind of one of the C ones, probably like around here. I'd put it like, right here. Again, I think you should just try and roll away and use boluses, honestly, for all of these boluses, but some of these are better than others. With poison, that can especially last for a while. You could use a bolus, but you could just try and tank it. It's not going to chunk your health. Rotten and poison aren't going to chunk your health like bleed or any of these other ones. And so that's why, honestly, I think it's better, because you could just put that on and psych people out. These other ones, again, boluses. Next we have the blue one, which is Sleep, and Madness. Another one where I'm probably gonna stick that with the bleed one. It's all right, but Death Blight. Um, Useless in my opinion. It's even bad in PvE. If you are someone who's getting, if you are fighting someone with a Death Blight build, first off, whoa. Most of the time you're gonna encounter Death Blight. It's from the lightning spell or incantation. Sorry, it's from the lightning incantation. It's just one of those where it's they're not doing a Death Blight build because they use that lightning. And that lightning doesn't do enough for it to matter. If they're doing a clip shuttle, you could put that on. I just don't think so. In PvE, you can resist those guys. I just think it's not good at all, in my opinion. It's a waste of a slot entirely. Finally, the modded necklace. This one is all of them. I think that this one is actually not very good, in my opinion. Because it's one of those where it's, oh, I get all resistances. If you're slotting one of these on, you should be slotting it to the situation. So if someone's doing poison, put on poison. Bleed, bleed. For that reason, I'm probably gonna put it, honestly, I'm just gonna put it down here. It's even worse. Deathblight at least has a niche. This doesn't. This doesn't. It's just worse than all the others, in my opinion. Okay, Scorpions. Scorpion Talismans. We're almost done with this. We get the Scorpion Talismans. Which unfortunately in Dark Souls 2, I know, sad state of affairs to bring up Dark Souls 2. These were the equivalents of these, the clutch rings in Dark Souls 2 especially, were good because sure there was a penalty, but with the way Dark Souls 2 PvP worked with spellcasters, you wanted to put this on because more damage is very good for casters. In Elden Ring, not really. I could see these being used at high level. Low level, it's not really going to matter. High level, still that damage increase is pretty bad. I'm probably going to put all of these low, like mid D. I'll do these in like an order. I think that the order would probably go, because this one's busted. I'm pretty sure this one's broken. From what I remember. Let me see, where's the Scorpions? I'm pretty sure Sacred Scorpion is bugged though. Ooh, it doesn't list it, but there's a holy bug. I'm pretty sure Sacred Scorpion is broken in that. But go magic if you're casting. Is it physical? No, just attack. So yeah, I think that could apply to spells. If not, still you could do it. Magic, then lightning. Both very good, especially in water here. Then fire. Fire's not good in water. And then sacred. If not, sacred would be right below magic. But because of the resistances, but in just kind of general, players can get decent holy resistance. But this is kind of how I'd put it. Now we get to move on to utility. Some of these are utility and miscellaneous. The Concealing Veil can be good. It was better when you didn't require you to crouch. I get why the other one was kind of busted. I'd probably put this in like D, probably like here. Cat Ring. It's even worse, unfortunately. Cat Ring used to be such a staple in Dark Souls 3, especially as a swap. Now it's not. Elden Ring basically has no fall damage. If you are going to die from a fall, the cat ring can't help you, which I think is stupid. I think it should. I get why they didn't do that in PvE and whatnot. Honestly, I'd put it probably like down here. Yeah. Probably like down there. It's just not good. Crepus Vial. Not good. Not good. It silences you. It's so niche where you're gonna encounter this. Goes down there. I actually goes like right here because it's not a detriment. These here are like detriments, or this especially. Miscellaneous, the entwined cord. I don't even remember if this is a. I don't even remember if you can get that. I think that's cut content. Yeah, this is cut content, I'm pretty sure. It kind of worked like the ring from Dark Souls 3, where it changed your animations to be female or masculine, but the opposite. So if you were a male, you would have feminine animations. If you were female, you would have masculine animations. It was purely for like flavor. All of these here basically are now either useless and or PvE. These three right here. Let's get these PvE ones out of the way. This is just for rune retrieval. I put this on if I die in PvE somewhere, especially with near and far. More items, more runes. Technically, I think this works with invasions. Doesn't work with invasions. In my opinion, useless. These are miscellaneous. You can do some tomfoolery with these and or fashion. Weirdly enough, these two are swapped in ways which aren't good. This one makes you appear white, like a phantom, ally phantom. This one makes you appear human. It really should be swapped. I think that's a bug. Shabriru's Woe, more interactions. Like more aggro. Co-op, that's great. Otherwise not. Datakar's Woe, detriment. This is an active detriment. This is like these, you could argue, no, this increases your damage. Okay, well, here's the list. Oh gosh, I have to, like... Okay, yeah, there's the list. This was kind of hopefully a shorter stream. How long was this? Oh my gosh, 2 hours. Wow, look at that. Practically 2 hours. I just kind of want to rant about this. I'm going to leave this up. I do plan on making a video that's a lot better scripted and a lot better done, because clearly, with all the interruptions that came across, I can't really do that. I can't cut this together, I don't think. But I'm going to use this as a reference when I'm talking about it. This, I think, though, is a pretty general PvP tier list. If people disagree or have other opinions, comment them. Or tell me how I'm stupid and wrong. Believe me, it's opinion based. But I think this is kind of how you would go with this, in my personal opinion. And this works with all levels, especially for invasions. Arena. I might, honestly, what I might do is an invasion. Something that I could do that I think could be fun would be invasion. And then I would have 2 tiers where it's high level, low level. Maybe not, probably not, that'd be too much work, but invasion, co-op, and arena. And those would be kind of the 3 that I would do. And when I mean co-op, I mean proper co-op, not seamless co-op, proper cooperation. Like how the default game intends it. I think that could be something that I could do. I think that could be fun. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in. For anyone that's watching this live, thank you. Or for anyone that is watching the VOD, hey, thank you. These are my opinions again. And it's better than the underrated weapon tier list I did. That was so bad. I'm gonna swap over to... I'm gonna figure out a little song to play as an outro. And, yeah, that really should be it. How about we do... ooh, you know what? We'll do this one. We'll end with this. I think that could be good. All right. Well, hey, take care. Have a good one. I'll see you next month.
boy ready for retaliation. I changed the whole location to a pine box 6 under. Impulsive, relax, wild wonder.